Okay, now the next step in getting our violent crime data visualized on top of our cartographic boundary files is going to be to join the data. So I'm going to get rid of the Tiger line files for now, and we'll take a look at the attribute table. The attribute table is going to contain a state FIPS code and a county FIPS code, and these are going to be either 2 or 3 digit codes that are going to uniquely identify each state and county. Each state is going to be unique, but counties will potentially repeat. So there's a 001 in every one of for every state FIPS code that there is. So those two in combination will be unique. So 16017 is going to be Bonner County, and that's got a state FIPS code of 16, a county FIPS code of 017. So both of those put together, or what's called concatenated, is going to be the Geo ID. So if we go back to our FBI crime data, so we're going to pull that open here. So we'll open this up in Excel. And what you'll see is that we've got a FIPS code that says 1 and a county code that says 1. So what we're missing is we don't have a Geo ID, and these are actually, they don't have enough digits. So what we're going to try to do is create something that's going to uniquely identify each state and county. So I'm going to create a new field, and we'll call it Geo ID. We could call it anything we want, but this is going to keep things easy to match up. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a formula in Excel to get these put together. So we'll hit equals. And if we just put E2, we would see that that's equal to 1. What we want to do is we want to actually what's called cast this as a string. So we're going to use a formula to do that. So to convert this from a number, 1, to text, or what we would call in computer programming a string, we're going to use an Excel formula to do that, and the formula that we want to use is called text. So we'll type in text E2, oops, and what we're going to need to do is format that text, and we need to put the number of digits, and that's going to be the double quotes, the number of digits that we have, and then close that up. So now our Geo ID is 001, and we could have done the same thing with the county FIPS code by typing in something like this. So that changes the FIPS code to 001, and we can copy and paste that formula so you can get a better idea of what that's doing. So that changes that should be F3 from a 3 to a 003. Now we need to make a combination of these two. So we're going to make kind of a nested formula here. So this is going to be text, and we need the FIPS code from the state, which is going to be E2, and that's a 2-digit code. And we need to concatenate that with the FIPS code from F2. So we're going to use the ampersand character here, and then text F2 000, and we get something that looks like that. And we can copy and paste that, and you can see that this is going to be creating something a lot like what we saw back here for the Geo ID right here. So it's the combination of 16 plus 017, 16017. So we'll do that all the way down. So I'm going to select my whole row and paste. And it's always a good idea to just sort of spot check and make sure that this is working the way we think it is. So 51 and 610 should be 51610. So we're going to save this. I'm just going to save it to the desktop for now. So this is going to be Uniform Crime Report data. This is at the county level, so CTY. And then I'm going to put down the year. This came from, I think, 2011. And we're going to save that as an Excel file. Now the newer format for Excel is SLXX. We want to use actually the older version. The older version of ARC is still a lot more stable if you're going to use the older format of Excel, so that's what you should do. So we'll hit save here. And now we're going to bring this data in and join it. So the first thing that I want to do is add. We'll pull up the desktop here. So we'll go to folder connection that I've got set up here, and we're going to add in that Excel file. This is on the first worksheet, so we'll add that right in there, and we can open the attribute table and take a look at it. So here's the data that we just downloaded, complete with the Geo ID field. So now we can take this data and join it. So we're going to choose a layer that we're going to join on. That's going to be Geo ID. We're going to be pulling in from our other table. We're also going to be using Geo ID there. And we're going to keep all records here. Sometimes it's a good idea to only keep the matching records, but in this case, things ought to work out just fine. So we'll hit OK. Joins typically work pretty fast as long as there's not an error. So we'll hit OK there. And what we should be able to do is open that attribute table. And we should have not only our geographic data, but all of the new data that we just pulled in about violent crime. So we can symbolize that. So we can go to Properties, Symbology, based on a quantity. In this case, we're going to pull open any one of these that we might be interested in. In this case, maybe we're looking at aggravated assault. We'll hit Apply. And it's often a good idea to do a normalization by at least log. And we'll take a look at that. You can see that this helps reveal some missing data in our data set. We're going to go back here for just a second, so let's uncheck this and hit Apply. When we look at our data this way, we've got our bottom class range is 0 to 359. But if we take a close look at some of our data, hit OK here, and we'll zoom in on the south, which seems to be missing a lot of data. And if we click around, you'll notice that a lot of these are going to have zeros reported in here. So that's a suspiciously low crime rate. That lets us know that probably we're missing some data. And like I said, that's especially visible here if we use a normalization by log, which means that any zero is going to show up right away. So you can see that, that we're missing quite a bit of data here. So what we might want to do is, if we're going to represent this, we might want to give some thought into looking for a different year. We're missing Illinois. We're missing, looks like probably Alabama and Florida. So maybe we would want to look for a different year that's going to have that data complete. So stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll show you how to symbolize this data just a little bit better. Thanks.